So today I'll be taking you through Quang Nam and basically what it has to offer. So Quang Nam is a province in central Vietnam. It is most famous for Hoi An, which Jake obviously previously mentioned, but it's much more than that. So what I'm going to go through today is kind of beyond Hoi An. And so the closest airport that you can travel from is Da Nang. So it's about a 50-minute drive away. And Da Nang is actually accessible internally from all of the other main airports. So throughout this presentation, I'll be taking you, as I said, through Quang Nam as a province, and also kind of showing you how it works, so how the region works in its efforts to promote green tourism. So mainly, can you guys see the whole of my, I can only see a bit of my screen, but can everyone else see the whole thing?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so so they focus on people, planet, and prosperity. So firstly, obviously we have Hoi An. So this is the main kind of tourist hub. So Hoi An actually translates to peaceful meeting place. So this is a vibrant, colourful city. It's full of restaurants, bars, and then you've got the Hoi An ancient town, which is actually a UNESCO heritage site. So this is a Southeast Asian trading port from the 15th century. Yeah, everyone kind of knows of Hoi An. And the reason why it's a UNESCO site is because it has the same architecture and kind of street layout that it did in the 17th century. So basically, it's been preserved extremely well. And yeah, that's the reason why. Beyond that, so the city is known for the home of tailoring. So you can essentially go there. There's over 200 tailors there that you can find in the streets. Most places, to be honest, just walking down the street, you'll be able to find them. And basically you can get custom made clothes for a quarter of the price that you'd be able to get to here. But as I said, beyond Hoi An, you have about an hour's drive away from Hoi An, you have My Son Sanctuary. So My Son Sanctuary is the ruins of 71 temples that were made in between the 4th and the 13th century. And basically it represents the culture of Hinduism that used to be there. So it brought together, it was known as the religious and political capital of the Champa Kingdom. So the Champa people were the people that brought in the Hinduism into Vietnam, basically, into this area of Vietnam. So this is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site for that reason. So it basically brought together religious and political areas of the region. So it represents a rich culture. So you can go there, you can do a half-day tour, you can do a full-day tour, and basically there's loads of ruins. It's really beautiful, and it's kind of a place to go and learn about the history. Other experiences that we have close to Hoi An, so we have the Field Restaurant, which is this picture, and basically the Field Restaurant is a restaurant in a rice field, but the thing about this place is that it represents their kind of green tourism initiatives, because the restaurant itself runs on a zero waste operations kind of incentive. So everything they do, they reuse organic waste to make their dishwashing liquid and their compost, and kind of try and make it a closed circle system. So in the circular economy, if everyone knows what that means. And you can then see also, obviously, you've got the rice fields around you. You can see the fresh food go to farm to plate, fresh ingredients. And the other thing that they do to help, obviously, that's them helping the planet with their zero waste operation, but they also train the people that work there. So basically, they just educate them about sustainability, how to kind of help the environment, and what they can do to kind of implement sustainable practices. Next, we have the Thu Bom River. So this actually translates to Mother River, and I like to think this kind of symbolizes how important it is to the people that live near it, alongside it. So essentially it kind of represents the river's used for so many things, but one of the main things is that it is a source for the fishermen. There's to catch their fish, and in Hoi An there's actually a huge market, so this is one of the biggest trades there. But on the river itself, as a tourist, you can actually go there, you can kayak, you can paddleboard, and basically you can go through it and see the more rural parts of Hoi An, so the bits that you maybe don't see, so you can really kind of submerge yourself into the local life and see how they live, or their everyday kind of life. And beyond that, another way that they try and help the environment in this area is every Saturday morning there is a kayak tour where it's a cleanup kayak tour initiative. So basically you can go kayaking and kind of go and find all the rubbish, pick up all the rubbish, and kind of do your part to help. And the reason for this is kind of it's wanting to encourage locals and especially tourists, kind of the importance of the environment, the importance of kind of doing your bit whilst you're there. So next we have the Cham Islands. So the Cham Islands are a UNESCO World Biosphere Site. So the reason being for this is because it's part of the Kulau Marine Park, and the surrounding sea is actually home to 945 marine species and 135 species of coral. So some of the marine species includes whale sharks, turtles, eagle rays, and essentially it's a really well preserved. All of these rare species are still thriving there. So they kind of, the islands, so it's consists of 8 small islands. There's only one main island, but basically when you go there, you'll pay a marine conservation fee, kind of do your part to kind of help them do what they do to kind of reserve it. But once you're there, it's mostly beach, so you can go snorkeling, you can go out with the fishermen on their boats and go fishing. You can also, there's a love and wellness well that you can go and visit. Apparently it's supposed to give you extra luck, which is always nice. And essentially you'd get there you can get the public ferry, which is about an hour, and then you can get a speedboat or you can kayak, but I think the kayaking takes about 3 hours. So, I mean, that is absolutely up to who is doing it. But yeah, these are just a few pictures of the top right. They have a lot of homestays. There's no hotels on the island, but there are different homestays you can stay at, or you can just visit the island for a day. It's so easy to go there and just come back. As I said, obviously there's all the fishermen, so there is a fisher market that you can go and visit. It's got amazing sea life, and yeah, so that is the Cham Islands. Next we have Tam Kỳ. So Tam Kỳ is actually the capital of Quang Nam. It's accessible from all major cities in Vietnam via the railway, or you can get an hour train from Hoi An. So it is more towards Tui Blue. Trying to make a connection, but probably don't need to. But essentially, this is kind of the home of art, literature, and culture. It's home to the Van Mu, which is the Temple of Literature, which basically signifies the hallmark of education in ancient Vietnam. So it's quite an important area, very historically rich, culturally rich. Yeah, and then last but not least, I think, we have Phu Ninh. So this is 7 kilometers from Tam Kỳ. So again, it's kind of more towards the Tui Blue side, but it's mostly known for the Phu Ninh Lake, which is basically the largest man-made reservoir in Vietnam. And this has actually become an ecotourism site. So again, coming in with the green tourism for the province. And essentially here you can kayak, you can swim, you can do boat rides, and the area's actually got surrounding forests, and it's a system of protection forests. So basically in the area there's actually a lot of rare species of wildlife. So around you can find red-faced monkeys, red wolves, horse bears, which all sound a bit scary, but the reason that it is safe is that the forest around it basically protecting you. So there's not any kind of threat there, but yeah, it's a very safe place to go. But basically, yeah, it's just used kind of as like a weekend away, a kind of quick trip. But it's a very important lake to the surrounding kind of provinces. It's used as a freshwater source. And yeah, that's it from me. So thank you. That was just